What is up, everybody, and welcome to you guys that I didn't scare away with my deer shooting video. I went hunting. Deer shooting video is a terrible way to word that. To my hunting video. To you, I did not scare you away. To y'all, I did not scare away, and you didn't leave my channel, and there's no longer a subscriber. I'm kicking off my flip-flops, even though it's cold out. That's why I'm wearing the jacket. Today, I have some big news. I got the quote back. It is absurd. It is more than I thought it was going to be, and I was already trying to boost up and predict something that was, I was already trying to set my expectations high so I wouldn't be disappointed, and it was still higher than that. So it was, I don't know, guess. Take a comment down below, pause it, and tell me what you think. Tell me what your best guess is. I can't wait for your comments, so I just gotta tell you. $9,777. That's what the quote was for that. The thumbnail to this, maybe I'll throw it up on screen for just a second so you can look at it. Maybe I'll throw up all three. Like 1, 2, 3. Oh, and 4. The 4 is the spacers, and he didn't like compact them to a small spot because he was assuming I was bringing the material. So the first 3 are like the actual parts. Now the first one, this one, that one is all exomuscle anchors. So I can immediately take that, throw that out until I come back and try to power the suit. So I can do that later. So those I can just not build now at all. So that's good. That's like one full sheet. But also the files are going to be more complicated than they are right now. There's going to be more cut time because I have to cut out all the holes for all the bolts to bolt the thing together. So it's going to go back up a little bit. And then I also asked him to quote me at a lower cost of metal. So I was going to use 6061, but 6061 was not really strong enough anyway, so I was going to have to reinforce it with carbon fiber, S-type fiberglass, structural fiberglass. It's also called sapphire fiberglass. It's made with aluminum. It's very, very strong. It's actually stronger than Kevlar, so it'll definitely hold the strength of that. So that would be a composite that I add on that. So I can add that in there anyway, so I don't really need the 6061, even though it would be nicer to have a stronger material. Not 100% necessary, so I drop the cost of that. So that'll already bring it down a little bit without having to do the anchors and taking down the material cost a little bit. The material cost is not going to be huge, even though 6061 is fairly expensive, so it will drop the price a little bit, but probably only a couple $100. I don't know the exact price. It's like 3 full sheets that I think are 4x8 sheets of metal. I didn't ask, but that is a lot of metal. So if the cost of materials is a little bit lower, I think that'll definitely help. The last thing I'm going to do is I was planning on working and getting this all together at once, buying it, putting it together. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to work for a while, get the money that I need as quickly as possible to start like a part of it. Maybe just the arm. Like maybe just the arm, and then I'll do the forearm. And I'll probably wait to do the hands because what I would like to do is figure out a way to get around the finger anyway, and if I get some clever way of doing that in the meantime, maybe I'll do that. There's the other option of throwing out those designs entirely and trying to buy a tool that could do it for myself. That's a possibility too. But what I probably will do is start it myself and then just build it in pieces slowly over time, hopefully over at least a year. Like I would not want this to go longer than that, but hopefully it'd be faster than that. The main thing, the assembly is I can do fast because I can just work like crazy, but the thing is I need the money to put it together. Hopefully it'll be faster than that. And then the last thing I can do is I can shop around too. That's just what one place told me. I might be able to find a machine shop that can do it either with a different method or just can afford to do it more cheaply. I might shop around to do that as well. So there's a few options there on how I'm going to do it. So I have a plan of attack and how I'm going to do this. I've already emailed the guy back asking him to break up the quote per part, per file, and then that'll tell me how I can do it that way, and then I can build it in the order that I did the design in as I designed it. So I designed it in those 13, I think it's 13 files. The head, the neck, the torso, the lumbar, the pelvis, the hand, the forearm, the arm, the thigh, the shank, and the foot. Those are all the files. I could build those in order, and then and stuff like that. And then if one of them is not working super well, maybe I could redesign ones. I could start with the one that I'm the happiest with, and then if I feel like maybe I need to change this one slightly before I did it, I would have time to do that anyway while I'm saving the money to do it. So I think that would work. It'd still be pretty freaking cool to see the arm start. If you go back to the Iron Man suits, he kind of builds them in pieces in the very first one. Like the very first movie, not the movie is like how it would happen in real life, but in the movie that's kind of how he does it too, at least with the Mark II. In the Mark I, he kind of just builds in the garage really quick, but the Mark II, he kind of builds, iterates in pieces. So that's an option. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now on that, is probably building it in pieces. That way I can get some fun in, get some welding done, actually get some cool stuff to show you guys while I'm working on it. And that way, and then maybe if the parts themselves, I might even be able to pick a cheaper one and actually get building sooner than I would have thought I was. I was thinking, I was hoping this thing would cost like $3,000 to $5,000. So it was like $3,000. Like if I work my ass off, I'll probably get that in a month. But then instead of going a month, maybe I'll try to find one that I can do for like $1,500, just one part of it, and then just build that. Then I'd have something to show you guys too. And as some of you have pointed out, it might be better to do that anyway, because there'd be some troubleshooting, like, oh, that's not working. Maybe I can come back and change that before I do an entire suit. Does that make sense? So there could be a few positives to doing it that way too, in addition to just being more fun, because we'd actually get to see some cool shit go together. And I want to see some fucking cool shit go together. I want to see some Iron Man suits up in this bitch. Actually, not this bitch, because I'm in Texas, but back in my shop. So that's what we're looking at right now. And it is really pretty and kind of cool to see my entire suit laid out in a sheet. That was pretty cool. So that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm going to chew on that a little bit more. But like I said, I've already requested that quote, and I think that's the direction we're going here, is just towards probably building it in pieces and then doing everything I can to drop costs on it as much as I can. So it ended up costing more than I thought it was going to cost. I underestimated either cut time or material cost or whatever it was. Aluminum's the cheapest to cut because I can cut it faster even though they cost more per pound. It's also very much lighter, but like the same volume of it, aluminum costs more than steel, but it's harder to cut, and the cut time is what costs most of the money, more than material cost. So I can shop around. I'm in Colorado. There's a lot of aerospace industry there, though aerospace is kind of overpriced. I can really shop around, maybe even try to get like $1,000 knocked off this thing by doing so. And then, you know, if I search really hard, maybe, and then building it in pieces. So that's what we're looking at. And then taking that all those exomuscle anchors, taking that entire sheet off is going to cost a lot. It's less detailed, so it's not going to cut it by a full third, but it will cut it by a lot because it's just in material, and it's still a lot of cutting. But there's more detail in the other ones, so those ones cost more because it costs them more to cut because there's more length of cut. Does that kind of make sense? Anyway, that's what we're looking at. We have a plan. We're going to build this thing. I love you guys. You're the best. Peace.